here we've got some temperature controlled archive strong rooms. So it's about 17, 18 degrees C constant temperature, and you might notice a little dryness in the air. It's between 40 and 50 relative humidity. And the reason we do that is because the tapes and all the paper book material soak up any moisture in the air, and so after time, if you leave a newspaper on a windowsill, it'll go all dry and yellow. So that's the kind of thing we want to avoid. Tapes in particular are susceptible to soaking up moisture, and it can affect the chemicals in the tape and cause them to become sticky. So a good tip for any material you've got at home is to keep things in boxes, because that's the first little protection against any atmospheric changes and smoke damage, for example. And also to keep them in rooms that you live in your home, so not in the basement, not in the attic, because that's where disasters happen. So you'll be keeping your rooms at a relatively constant temperature.
So just to explain, how many tapes have you actually got here?
It's really difficult to say. We've got about 35,000 recordings, and less tapes than that, but thousands of tapes on about 200 shelves of every format, from wax cylinders to magnetic tape, CDs, mini discs, USB sticks now, and now of course stuff comes in digitally.
You've got actually the archive from commercial radio way back to 50 years. Where was it originally?
Well, it came in, I think, to the Northwest Sound archives in about 1983, I believe, which was the 10th year of Piccadilly's operation. And I think one of the provisos of the continuation of the license for the radio station was that the archive be deposited somewhere for safekeeping. And so that at that point it was deposited with the Northwest Sound Archive, which was held at Clitheroe Castle in Lancashire until 2015, when it shut. And at that point, the sound archives were split up around the region, and we received 200 shelves of material relating to Greater Manchester, including Piccadilly Radio, BBC Radio Manchester, reams and reams of oral history and other recordings as well.
And you're going to now, hopefully, digitise all of that?
Yeah, well, that'd be great, wouldn't it? It's a very time-consuming process. So we have to operate at real time. So we've got multiple tape machines running at any given time. But even so, we can only get through maybe 20, 30 reel-to-reel tapes in a really good day. And a lot of this stuff is 50 years old now. It has been sat in imperfect conditions during that time, and a lot of it is suffering from what we call sticky shed syndrome, which means that you can't just put it on the tape machine because it's all sticky and gloopy, and it sounds awful. So what you have to do is bake it, and sometimes treat it with alcohol, which is very time consuming. Sometimes it can take up to 100 hours of baking at 50 degrees C to get a good transfer out of each tape. So the idea is we need to do some fundraising around this material, because the format that it's on is obsolete. There are no more tape machines being made, so it's becoming more and more expensive to get the kit and service the kit. And meanwhile, the tapes themselves are dying, and this stuff is an absolute treasure trove for Manchester's histories.